All right, welcome back to update number 2 on our low-code report generator for SDS2. This video will be broken down into 2 parts. One, we're going to go over a very small report with loading drawing data, and then the second half is going to be going all of the additional nodes and updates that we have done to the app since our last update. So in a very first one here, we are doing a member selection of columns in certain zones. Then we're going to go ahead and load the detailed drawing data through this node, and then we're going to create a report with piece mark, drawing type, approval status, and whether it's been detail complete or not. So if we go ahead, launch this off, we see here we get our selection for our zones. We'll pick zones 1 and 2. It'll go select all the columns from there, load all the detailed drawings, and then once it's done, it'll bring our app back up. And then we can go ahead and launch our Excel report here to see what we've got. So we've got our piece mark, our type, approval status, and detail complete as we wanted. All right, so what we have before us now is all the nodes that we have developed thus far. So we have created some UI improvements for all of the nodes. So the JSON viewers now show us the data type via the icons here on the left. So we either have lists, numbers, text, booleans, or object values. And then we've also made it so you can collapse lists and objects. So that way you can clear it up for view. Now the major improvements that we've made to the member selection node is that we can select either by the whole model, zones, or sequences, and you can also choose the type that you want. And if you have a custom type that you want to select, you can just select the custom dropdown and then select the type from there. And then from here, we'll talk about the filter node. So what the filter node does is it takes in all of our members. So what we have here on the left is the input, and this is actually a list of multiple members, but you're only seeing one member because that's all we ever work with is the data of one at a time. And what we could do is we want to say that we only want to get the members who have a rotation set to 90. So if we go ahead, rerun this, we'll now see that when we look here, we get rotation 90. And if we were to generate this out into a report where we would, sorry, I need to get the test data in there. All right, then we put rotation here. You would see that all of our members in this report now have only rotation 90. All right, now I'm not going to generate a report for everything. I just wanted to show that the filter node does work as we want. So the property selection node, what this does is we can work with objects of smaller size. So let's say we don't want all of these properties, right? Let's say if we only want the welds. So all we do is we come up here, we grab our welds object, go back, run it, and then we would look at our property selection, and now we just have welds. Well, that's nice. What if we wanted to then take our welds and we'd want to group them? So let's say we want to group welds that have a weld size and a weld type. And then we can go ahead, run this. And then from here, we can see that we have a 1/4 inch weld by enum1. We'll have that updated so it actually says the weld name in future updates. And well, this is all good and dandy, and we just have list after list. But if we want to start running sums and totals on our welds, we can't do that yet today, but in the future, we could then flatten out our list. And so what we can do is say we want to remove repeated items, but we do, oh, that's keep. So we want to remove repeated items. However, for the length, we want to make sure that we keep all of those values. So now here in the Flatten list, we can see that we have a nice defined weld object. So here we have a 1/4 inch type 1 weld where we have distinct values here, and we keep all of the links, so that way in a future update we'll be able to sum those up or average them or do whatever you would want to. We'd also get all the GUIDs for those. All right, so going back about some of the other nodes, so we have other selection modes too. We have the ability to select bolts out of the model, which we can do by zones or sequences. We can do the same thing with welds. And we can also select drawings. Now with here, we can select what type of drawings that we want, and we can do it off of all the drawings or off of specific drawings inside the model, which we get the SDS2 native selection UI for that. From here, we can also load custom properties onto our members, or bolts or welds or on the materials just by what we select. So if we were to go and select like the SDS2 detailer, we could then say select exactly the ones that we want to add. We can do the same thing on bolts, and so on and so forth for all of them. Now the load drawing nodes, this will load the detail drawings onto the members that you get from the member selection output. So there's nothing to configure there. And then before creating reports, you might want to order your data by certain attributes, so that you can do by dragging those into the order by and then by, because you can keep adding a whole bunch in a row there. Anyways, so this is our second major update to the app. Please let us know what you think, what you want, any use cases that we might not have covered yet. Please drop a comment or like the video, share it with your friends and coworkers, and until next time.